Puyo Training Grounds have made a big change to the server. Players now have the ability to grant themselves a role that highlights their skill level. In addition, players also have access to tier chats that lets them arrange matches with players of or around their skill level. That gave me the idea to offer replay/spectator analysis videos. So in today's video, I spectated 2 newer Puyo players and gave them as much advice as I could in this video. If you have not done analysis as well, please join the Puyo Touring Discord server linked below in the video for notification. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. In today's video, I will be going over this replay analysis from Woofle and Ethan. These are 2 very new, kind of on the new side players, so there will be a lot to unpack in this video, but I will try to make sure that I get them down to the best I can. Anyways, I can see player 2 building up GTR, which is a very common beginner trap, and player 1 seems to be having a little bit of issues, but looks like they're trying to build GTR as well. Just a little bit raised and in the center. However, that placement, I can go back. How do you get back in this thing? I'll probably slow it down at the time. Also, forgive me, I haven't done any reason well. Oh, I have to play it. Okay, sorry about that. But just look at player 1's board for a second. Around here, they make the mistake of putting it like that. If you're going to do a GTR, I would recommend putting the neutral and red on column 2 if you're going to do it raised like that. And then for your next pieces, I would probably recommend them placing it here. Although if you look at player 2's board, you can see that they're doing a little bit of a mistake in column 1 and 2. See that lone red Puyo down there? You really don't want that to happen, because that results in bad GTR, and it is easily be attackable. So if garbage Puyo comes in column 1, you're pretty much done for. As you can see here. But you see a little bit of stalling because, like I said, they're still a little bit new, so they're trying to figure out what to do. But a 2-chain response from player 2 is really nice. He seems to be on the road to rebuild that. I don't think I would have placed that there. This is probably a mistake. What I probably would have recommended is to, well, first of all, have like columns 5 and 6 all stacked up, so that leaves you with no room. Let's actually go back a little bit and see. Good. Sorry, I unpause that. So I think he just wanted to build a little more to the base, but I really just would have taken time to actually clear column 1 a little bit. Because if you just frog stack all your pieces to like the left or the right, then you kind of just leave yourself open to attacks and not a lot of space to work with. And if I can just go back. You could have just used that little series of like neutrals, reds, and probably that sad Puyo would have honestly helped you out. If I remember to, I'll go back and chain some it for you. Just keep in mind that you don't need to stack all your Puyos in the left. There's like not a lot of unwanted pieces that you really need. There's actually quite a lot of possibilities you can use with those. Right now, just a little bit of 1-chain action. I would have gone for a 2-chain up there, but... And honestly, I would have just set that off, but he doesn't here, so it's alright. And I couldn't really say much for player 1's board. It was pretty much they're trying to get stuck a little bit. I would probably recommend for player 1 right now is to kind of learn the more basic chains so they can actually suit fundamental little chain styles a little better. Well, they're doing stairs right now, which is always nice to see, and player 2's going for another GTR. However, this little assortment of greens, I believe I'm good on colorblind, so I apologize for the mix-up. But this little assortment of greens right here is going to be a little bit hard to work with because you need to. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to zoom out. But yeah, like, this is gonna be a little bit hard to work with. Now, there is a workaround for this that I know of. It's called just building it in a box. Or you could just, you know, use a different color. But I would really recommend just using a different color. Perhaps the little happy Puyo down there would have been fine. But I don't think you really need the pieces for that. I would have just opted to make these a little bit more vertical. Or a little bit more flatter. And then player 1's base board is going pretty well. A little bit of a questionable move to put the little neutral Puyo right there. I would have put the color that's matching column 3 a little bit, but again, it's still easily doable if you put that color on top of here. I like how we opted for the Hellfire, leaving player 2 into a little bit of a dire state. I guess I might spend some time digging down. But for player 2's options, oops, I forgot to pause it. But I can do it here. But anyways, this little option, I would really recommend focusing on home 3 and 4 to like dig down, especially if you need to like go back to your chain. I mean, and this, like I said, this is a little bit of a cutoff here, but it still works to throw player 1's board off because they're a little behind right now. A little bit too slow on player 2's part.
Am I to be sealed away again?
I think if they placed their piece a little bit faster, they could have salvaged it. I forgot to go back, but still. They could have salvaged their chain a little bit. Let's see. A little bit of a slow start for both players again. Oh, the next for blocking player 1's chain. So they're in a little bit of trouble over here because they need to get through all this garbage. I do see an easy fix around for that, and I will put that in chain sim. Player 2 is looking like some good stairs. A little bit of a setback with those garbage videos, but again, it's still possible. If he gets like one more of each color in columns 4 and 5. Probably not that color,
Is that it?
but he manages to dig back down. I think he's actually
Let eternal darkness consume.
start. Looks like player 2 had to pause for a second. Yeah, I think player 2 is falling under the victim of just doing GTR only, which is a huge setback for most players, including myself. But I managed to get over that. And this assortment of Puyos is really going to be hard to work with here. But I assume that's because we were trying to do GTR. Because you have like way too many colors in the wrong order over here. So he's trying to basically fight back down. Then player 2 or player 1 has just a lot of room to attack with.
Is that it?
To cover player 2 with a bed of garbage.
My call!
You cheater!
Is that it? My call!
So I think the general consensus for both players is that it just needs a little bit more chain knowledge. I think stairs and GTR is what they both pretty much go off of. I recommend learning sandwich. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, or 2, 2, 1.
You cheater!
Because that will hopefully give you a little more insight of how to, train a little better.
Oh, good!
Because as stated, or as witnessed, GTR is pretty much a trap for like everything. Because everyone uses it with all skill levels, and yeah, it kind of puts them at like a little bit of a wall. L-shape can kind of do that to people too, but at least L-shape's sort of viable. Not saying that GTR isn't viable, but at least, I don't know. It was a bit hard to examine, I guess. Doing live commentary anyways. Player 2's GTR is going pretty nicer than it was the first time. Interesting placements.
Is that it?
That... Hang on, I have to go back to doing this. I keep forgetting how to do this, I'm so sorry. So, I think... Like, you had like the pieces to actually put the 2 happies down in column 3. And then it actually would have helped you more because it would have probably been something like, wait. They put, okay, never mind. We didn't put a penny out, but still. He opted to put it over here, but I would have put it in column 3 so that we can at least reach down up there. Because you have like the Puyos to cover it, to like uncover it. So some little bit of food of thought for that because you were kind of just dug down there. You might as well finish your chains that way. When you do get down to your base, you can actually get to an actual good one. Sorry, that was long.
Heed my call. Heed. Let eternal darkness consume.
I think player 2 was a little bit AFK there. He might be going for stairs now. But he has the colors to do it. He seems to figure them all out. I think that was a misstep on that part. Let me just make sure I'm looking at that right.
Heed.
There has to be a misstep on their part. So I think they meant to do it like this. I think now they're trying to reverse their stairs and going from the right rather than the left. Which is, again, admirable and still viable. A little bit of a tricky spot there. Please let me just get a 4 challenge.
Good! That hurts! Ow!
You can just cover player 1 and player reach. There it is. So if those were misdrops, there are ways to fix it. If that was just all part plan, then like I said. Okay, more GTR from player 2. And it looks like player 1 is just putting pieces down, which is again completely normal. Not a lot of people know what to do in the first try, so. Oops, that is not what I meant to do. Sorry about that. But with this stack right here, I would probably opt to use this upcoming piece right here to pop this, so that way you at least have something to attack with, and you'll have like a pretty decent like addition to your base. But it is going to leave a little bit uneven, so I would probably use these two to put it in column 5. But I think he did something differently. Oh, never mind. It's been a while since I've seen this. Okay. Unfortunately, you did leave yourself exposed. You left column You left column 1 a little bit open for way too long. You really want to avoid this. If you have this color, you might want to spend the time to making at least 2 more of it on here, so that way you don't get this formation for too long. Because again, if a garbage block falls on this, you're pretty much done for. Yeah, well for it. Now fast forward this.
You will regret that.
So avoid bag GTR more often.
Heed! 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 Heed!
I think both players just pretty much did down what they can.
Is that
About 2 chains.
Heed! 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 Heed!
This will be a little nice attack from player 1 for it.
Is that
But pretty much the goal here is to make sure player 2 is covered in garbage for player 1 and player 2 to get down.
Heed!
He needs to improvise a lot. You know, I don't know why they didn't attack there, but they kind of figured it out.
You will regret that. Am I to be sealed away again?
I'm gonna try to fast forward through all the just spam chains. If you if player 2 rotated that a little bit, hang on. That was an easily miss all clear from player 1 here. Pretty sure anyways. Yeah, if you just rotated that correctly, then you would have gotten it all clear. Meanwhile, player 2 seems to be a little bit stuck on the thing. Good use of the GTR though. He didn't fall into that same trap that he did in that last match and put it in the right spot. And this little formation right here actually makes for a good GTR tail, or transition to it. If you put this piece into column 5 and have the chain go, it would actually be a little bit more bigger, so good thing to note. That's still pretty good too, but
Is that it?
it's not upcoming chain. Upcoming go.
Heed!
You're probably gonna have to end up popping this red over here and then replacing it.
Heed! Is that it?
But player 1 seems to be more focused on making sure player 2 is locked out.
Heed! My call!
Another reason why back GTR is really bad. Well, this one is a little more manageable, but it's gonna be a little bit awkward. That's pretty good fence round for it.
My call! Anima! Ignis!
But you managed to bury player 1, so that's pretty good.
Eternal darkness consume.
Okay, a little bit of a nice GTR base for player 2. Player 1 is still freestyling a little bit.
Heed! Heed!
I find it a little bit difficult to give advice for freestyle because I don't really do it that much. Because you kind of have to really just learn how to actually change.
Heed!
Granted, there are some really good freestylers out there, but I'm not one of them. Freestyling is more of a after chain thing. Like people can do it for them on chain.
Am I to be sealed away again?
And I also don't know how to give advice for that because it's just basically just placing down pieces wherever it feels is needed. Let's go back and watch that again for player 2. Can that go? In this situation, I would have just opted to split those happy Puyos. Sorry, it's really awkward to do these. with the Switch zoom in controls like that. I think the main concern is that he's trying to just force GTR every time, which is kind of a problem. Well, it's not kind of a problem, it really is a problem. Because you can't really force GTR from this one unless you have to like sacrifice time to fix it now.
My call.
Good.
And you're vulnerable to those strong attacks, so you're pretty much forced to just make sure that GTR is not too broken.
Is that it?
So now player 1 just has to bury you in garbage.
You cheater.
My call. You will regret that. Heed. My call.
At least he didn't give up though.
Heed. 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 Heed.
In the third chain.
My call. Anima.
So we reversed it, which is really nice. Which puts player 1 at a very vulnerable position. So the natural consists of just digging. It's basically just make sure you power your way down. And same thing for the person in the opposite side. Lots of pausing from player 2 here. Again, player 1 is just kind of freestyling right now.
Good.
Let's look at player 1's board again.
Is that it?
I keep forgetting how to do it. So I think to opt for like a 3 chain, you could have just put that little neutral Puyo in column 3 as well, for a little power 3 chain. For a little bit of a stronger attack.
Good.
Remember, the more Puyos that actually pop, then the stronger your attack will be. So I'll put that in column 4 next time.
Good.
My call. Anima.
Ow.
And looks like there's no chain to be formed here, so I'm just gonna...
My call.
And I will be giving like a non-commentated replay for these players, that way if you want to watch the match without commentary, then you can watch it on the channels.
My call.
So I can give a little bit of a give back to a little bit of the community.
Let eternal darkness consume.
So they'll both be able to download the video and upload it to their channel if they want to. And the download this video on my channel, so in case you need to fall, if case you need to come back to something to fall back on. Well, player 2 actually screen watched. Let's go back a little bit. We shouldn't just rewind instead of just pinpoint them. But I want to focus on player 2 this round. See, he does a good job of actually maintaining the second column, first and second column rather. But if he actually just paid screen watch to player 1's board, he probably could have known that he can just launch his chain at any time and not fall to that. So that was a really good, like... Can I just Wow, this makes it so much easier. But yeah, if you just actually just screen watch player one's board, you could have just launched your whole entire chain and you would have won. So definitely try to screen watch your opponent, because if they just literally it's just a bunch of huge mess, then you have the upper hand. You can just launch whatever chain you have, as long as it's big enough to kill them. Because that was a nice 6 that they... 7 actually. Wow, I didn't even notice that ghost tail.
Let eternal darkness consume.
So it looks like when they have the right colors, supposedly, allegedly, they actually can make the trigger, but there's ways around that. Because it just looks like you're pretty much forcing the GTR into a sandwich all the time, and that's not... Although it's not bad, it's not really recommended. Because it does put you in a less vulnerable position. Sorry, less favorable position. So again, some food for thought. But nice 14 return. We'll put player 1 at a disadvantage. We can't go to the left without wasting some time. And that puts player 1 at disadvantage.
Let eternal darkness consume.
Match point for player 2. Okay, they're slowly starting to learn that the bad GTR placements are slowly vanishing away. Or bad GTR habits, rather.
You will be
Okay, very good. They use the base. Dig down a little bit. Now just spending most of the time just digging down, which again is what they need to do. And they're figuring out stronger attacks on the way to it. Unfortunate placement for the garbage placement, so nothing to blame the player on here. But if you just dig all the way back down. Player 1 had a bigger intention. Yeah, pretty much an attack setup, so basically dig down really fast before your opponent kind of just hits you with this big power chain at the end.
You will regret that.
So just place your pieces a little bit faster.
That was fun.
Pausing a little bit again for player 2. You want to think a little bit fast, or a little bit faster rather. But it's pretty much a matter of playing the game more often, so we can recognize those patterns without having to pause so much. And that applies for both Puyo and Tetris. Yeah, that bad GTR once again strikes and puts you at a disadvantage. So player 1 should have their priorities to dig down, but they're making a little bit of an attack tower of their own in the right. Just need a red in column 4.
My call.
Let's go back. So really, I would have placed the. I don't know if it's gonna come up soon, but I would have placed the red and happy in column 3. But that was enough to get rid of player 1 and and that concludes my analysis. So my general conclusion is to make sure both players learn some more basic chains. You gotta learn stairs. Honestly, I think the most important thing to learn is stairs, sandwich, before you move on to GTR, because that will actually hinder you a lot more than it seems. And learn some irregular forms such as L shape or mirrored eye, yaoi. Just pick one on the list. They're all pretty much the same. And also, of course, new GTR isn't that bad either. So basically, for my consensus is just learn some new forms and practice them alone. And practice them a little bit alone. And again, if you need help, I will help you along with everyone else in the Puyo community. But aside from that, that'll end today's video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like an analysis video from me, you can join the Puyo channel. You can join the Puyo trading Discord server and accept a match and ask me to record. I'll see you guys next time.